we'll bring us to the bottom. Some public hearing tonight on liquor licenses for the town. It's open to questions.
When was it established that restaurants could not have serve drinks? Was it 72?
This is on hard liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
So if you saw the ad in the newspaper, it gave us the history of alcohol in Baldwin. In 1972, Baldwin voted to allow the sale of malt liquor and wine for consumption off premise on days other than Sunday. And then 2 years later, in 74, the town voted to allow the sale of malt liquor and wine on Sundays for consumption off the premise. That's what's currently allowed in town. So what will be voted on at the end of the month is permit the sale of spirits for off-premise consumption on days other than Sundays. Shall authorize sale to permit the sale of spirits for off-premise consumption on Sundays. So there's a whole week, it's covered now. Shall authorize the state to issue licenses for the sale of liquor to be consumed on premise days other than Sunday, and authorize the state to issue licenses for the sale of liquor to be consumed on the premise on Sundays. We've pretty got the whole week covered for all types of liquors that are available for sale in Maine. And you might notice in those last two I said, or I guess in all of them, is authorize the state to permit. And in all of these instances, the state issues licenses. So this is the first step that would take place. If the town votes to allow all of those things, before anybody could actually do those sales, they would have to get state licenses. And in one of the instances, which is where somebody wants to have consumption on premise, then the municipal officers are asked to review it, and we can hold a public hearing and whatnot. And there's a list of reasons that you could deny it, but it's a fairly short list. But anyway, so that's really what it's all about. It would apply to anybody, not just Whistle Stop, which was the one who initiated it, but if anybody who has a facility that wants to set it up. The other thing is that the land use ordinance says that eating and drinking facilities are conditional use. So we still need a conditional use for that. There's a lot of steps somebody has to go through, rules, reviews, and all. This is the first step.
Hey, Bob, I don't have it right in front of me, but is it possible that the townspeople could vote down the 6 days a week and for consumption on premises, running a bar, and you could only drink on Sunday? Would that be odd?
Each one of these items are standalone.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a fluke, but.
Yeah, I mean, awesome. Anyway, any other questions? Sir? Seems pretty straightforward, but.
Any idea what this is supposed to look like? Is it going to be like a little restaurant-y thing, or a bar that you walk up to, or how?
This is not an application to do anything. This is
just the permission.
This is the town voting to allow these activities to happen.
Okay.
Now, I understand Mr. Frenet may have some plans he hasn't talked to me about, but maybe with other people.
Many years ago.
You get to review that at the planning board level.
Many years ago, he came to the planning board, and geez, I gotta say, it was 6, 7, 8 years ago, and wanted to put out some feelers. And at the time, he was talking about something like a pub, and you could get something to drink. I think at that time he was drinking beer and wine, but he was talking something like a pub and some things to eat and, you know, a neighborhood pub or something of that nature. That was years ago, and that was kind of what he was pointing at.
I thought he said beer garden. I thought it was more Germanic than British.
I guess it was.
I guess the only reason I was asking is that it kind of colors how you look at it. If it looks like a wild and crazy disco bar and everybody pulls in and they just beach their vehicles out front, and then they go roaring off into the darkness later on, all plowed out, I don't know, that would not be a really good thing and people would disagree. So that's kind of where I was asking, were there any plans that had been mentioned? And so I was sure two versions of potential.
I would think that the planning board could put conditions on it, that they have to have a bouncer, or you have to regulate.
In some way control.
Yeah, control.
Have
I
a
think
shut off.
the public pretty much determines what kind of bar you have.
Yeah.
You may think you want to have a British pub with dartboards on the wall and things like that, and the bikies come in and decide, hey, this is our place now.
Right, yeah.
Now you got a biker bar, you know, don't stand near the dartboard.
Well, I was gonna say to you, you know, that happens once a week in Laconia.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to say what happens, but as a caveat, it opens it up not to just that location.
Right.
And I
Start planning.
and I looked in the land use ordinance, a eating and drinking establishment is a conditional use not only in village commercial, but also in the rural zone.
Yeah.
So it's everything except highland and resource protection. So you could have a biker bar with one of those pole dancing poles just about anywhere in town.
But they have to keep their clothes on.
Huh?
They have to keep their clothes on.
Some clothes.
Some clothes?
But no, it couldn't be entertaining if it's next door to you or me.
Right.
You know, looking through, there's requirements, you know, state licensing requires that they have trained bartenders, things like that.
Okay.
And some of the reasons that the town could turn it down might have to be with the person's background history, you know, violations of the law.
Oh, yeah.
If they, I think the licenses get reviewed or renewed every 5 years, and that's an opportunity again to look at it.
And that's the selectmen who get to, every 5 years, say that it can continue or not.
Is on-premise licenses where the sale of liquor for on-premise consumption is authorized. All applicants for new on-premise licenses and for transfer of location of existing on-premise licenses must, before licensing by the Board of Alcoholic Beverage and Gaming, I guess it's, obtain permission from the municipal officers who may hold a public hearing and who may approve or deny the application on a variety of grounds. May also hold hearings on the premise for on-premise licensing renewal, unless the guy has no complaints. There's a set list of reasons why you can and cannot deny them. And anyway, new ground, new thing.
Every once in a while, in the shopper's guide, you see Standish, hearing for the renewal of the malt and Venus, license of such and such place.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a town thing too.
Any more questions?
Good enough.
I'll declare this hearing closed. Please, glad we didn't have to preserve the, gymnasium.
I gotta go home and have a rum and coke. You got me thirsty.
That sounds good.
When do we vote on this?